Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So today I am back with another wig review, and this one is a beautiful piece that is from Glamvigor. And oh my gosh, they reached out to me asking me if I wanted to try one of their newest blend wigs. And of course I wanted to, because the other wig that I got from them was just beautiful. I will link that review up top here. You can check that one out. But this is their new line of blend wigs. So it is a human hair and synthetic blend. It's actually Japanese synthetic fiber. And oh my gosh, so I have wanted to experiment with these new copper ginger colors. So when they contacted me to see if I wanted to try one of their new wigs, of course I accepted and I went right for this one. Actually, to be honest, I was going to also get the one that I got previously in their new fibers to try, how that looked, to see how it preformed, if it was any different. But because I saw this one on their website, I just had to go for it. So this is their new line of wigs, and they're called Hybrillia. And like I said, it is a blend of human hair and Japanese synthetic fibers. But I really feel that these blend wigs are truly the in-between of human hair and synthetic. They look realistic, they feel realistic, and they just are more durable, and you can do a lot more with them. So this is their ginger copper color. Let me turn around and show you what this looks like. It really doesn't say a length, but I would say at least 20 inches, probably, if not more, maybe 22. So I will, you know me, probably be cutting this down. But this is a middle part. I'm not really fond of middle parts, but I'm going to try to make this work. I have learned how to cut in bangs, and I'm going to show you how to do that today as well. Hopefully I don't ruin this piece. But I am going to cut this down so that I feel comfortable wearing it, because this is just too long for me. So I'll probably be cutting, it at least to here. So a couple inches off. But this is just gorgeous. This parting looks wonderful. It is a lace front. The lace front looks wonderful. It blends into my own hairline and to this wig, so it looks just realistic. I have sprayed some water and some wig conditioner spray in this already, just to get these fibers moving. I will say that on this piece, there seems to be some sort of box hair right here, because this flips forward, and then this area here doesn't seem to be laying right. So sometimes you'll get that, depending on how long they've been in boxes or things like that, how they were made. But I think I'm going to have to step away and see if I can take a hair dryer to this and see if I can play around with some of these fibers here. I don't know. I haven't really looked to see what it looks like down in there. But it might just have to be redirected. Also with this, you might want to, this kind of does flip in your face a little bit. So you will have to contour this however you like, which, because this is a human hair synthetic blend and it takes heat, you can take a hair dryer and start, molding in a contour if you are going to wear this in a middle part. I did think about, it does have ear tabs and they have metal stays in them. I also did think about turning this, because you can, work at turning some of these so that they are more of a, side part. But sometimes they're a little bit difficult to do when there's ear tabs, because now your ear tab, one is way up here and one is lower. It doesn't seem like it's affecting the length too much, But that's the only thing of why I really don't like doing that, especially if there's ear tabs, because it just doesn't then sit right unless you cut off the ear tabs. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I think I might just try to cut in a bang to this one. And like I said, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to step away and see if I can fix some of this box hair here and direct some of these fibers forward so that I can cut in a bang. Okay, I am back, and I will say that it takes very well to heat. I just have a hot air brush, if you will, and I sometimes take off the brush part and I just kind of, use the end and blow the fibers around. And I will say that this takes very well to heat. I did start kind of directing this up this way if people wanted to wear it in like a contour like this. And this box hair has gotten a lot better. I think it's because that these longer bangs, they're sweeping back this way. And I think it just had to be like kind of trained or loosened up to do that. But yeah, it looks way better. You can still see how this kind of lays weird here. But I think it'll be fine. Once you start wearing it, I don't like, and this is this piece. Maybe other pieces won't have that in it, but it can be definitely fixed. So, like I said, this takes very well to heat with a blow dryer. Okay, I also did some experimenting with the curling. This is the piece right here, which actually did fairly well. I did use a curling wand and a very thin one. I think it's probably the thinnest one that I have. And on 360. And I did have to do this a few times. And I had to leave it on the fiber for quite a while. So I think if you left it on there longer, it might curl a little bit better. But I was afraid to, ruin the fiber. Again, 360. Might be a little high. Okay, actually looking at the website, it does say 275 to 300 Fahrenheit for the best results. I did 360, and this is what happened. So it did take a lot to curl this at 360. I don't know what would happen at 300. I don't even know if it would even curl at 300. So just FYI on that. They say this is also overall length is 18 inches on this. I think it's longer, so just know that as well. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, show you how I cut in some bangs to this. And I don't know that I'm going to cut in like the full bang. I might like do it very long so I can have some like longer swooping pieces here and face framing pieces, because this here is too long for me and I would never wear it like this anyway. So I will show you how I do that. Okay, so we are going to experiment with cutting in some bangs to this, and I'm going to show you what I learned, which I have been cutting the bangs pretty, standard and how you should be doing it, but this just perfects it a little bit more. So what you want to do is you want to section off a section of hair that is like right at the end of your eyebrow, basically, and like right at the ear. So that's about right there. And I'm going to flip all of this other pieces back. Same here. You do it right at the ear and the end of the eyebrow. And I am just using a rat tail comb here to just section this off. You should section these other pieces back and out of the way so you know what you're going to be cutting. And basically when you cut your bangs, you want to basically lay your hand down here, and your bangs are only going to be 4 finger lengths from the hairline to back here. So that's basically where that is, essentially. Right where I've sectioned that hair off. Pretty standard. So what you do is these are actually curtain bangs. This is what is cut into these already, and then this is still what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be making a middle section here. So we're going to start, because this is, I want a little middle section here that actually it resembles more bangs and more wispy bangs here in the front. You can see where that's going to be basically. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to start long. Like this section here is going to be just like the little ittiest bittiest piece. And this might be a little too wide. Too much hair. But we're just going to start with it anyway. Okay. And then what you do is you decide where you're going to cut your bang, the length anyway. Now, obviously your bangs, I don't want it this long. And I probably don't even want it to my nose. So I'm going to probably have it somewhere in between, here and higher. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start small or long, because once you cut, you can't get it back. And so I'm going to do that first. And they also say that you don't want to stretch your bangs like this, because it has a little give and bounce. And when you do that, your bangs go up anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start cutting. I'm going to just hold this so I can grab the hair and grab it all around this area that I want to cut. And because this is a middle part, you're going to see that these hairs are going to want to part in the middle. And we're going to try to fix that with some hot air once this is all done. So I'm just going to grab all this hair. I'm not holding it down, but I'm just going to cut. Okay. That was a good 4 inches maybe. Okay. And we know that that is not going to be as long as we want either. So I'm going to go a little bit shorter. And I'm just doing this so it's not such a blunt cut across. And as you're doing this, you might see or feel that there's hairs that are longer. Now, I already feel that these might actually really look nice. Like they might really preform how they're supposed to for bangs. This looks really freaking cute already. Okay, I'm going to step away and I am going to see if I can flatten these a little bit more and take away some of the parting. Okay, I am back, and it did perform pretty good with some heat. Sometimes with these bangs, you're just going to have to keep playing with them until you get them how you like. You might have to take some heat to this, like a hot air or a hot curling wand or something. But basically what you always want to do is to get these to lay flat, you position all of your heat tools, especially like a hair dryer or a hot air wand, always down, pointing down to get these fibers to lay flat and to take away the parting that's there. So that is just a tip for that. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab these and just start cutting this way until I get to the length that I want. And this just kind of makes it not such a blunt cut and kind of blends it more in, as opposed to making it just a straight across cut. And that might take a little bit to do, because you're only taking off very little hairs at one time. And you can just keep going like that until you get to the desired length that you want. And always don't, like I said, I'm not pulling down on the hair like this. I'm just holding it so I can like cut it. I'm not really pulling down on the hair at all. Oh, these are looking cute. Now what I did is I, just continued to cut like that, like I said, upwards. And then I mean, it's going to take a little bit, but if you like get to an area where like, okay, this is like where I want them, then you can just kind of, you know, start cutting them across to like speed up the process. And just take a look to see how they look after that. But this looks really cute. There are some pieces I still have to fix here, but okay, so what we're going to do, and I might have hair all over my face now. So what we're going to do now is deal with this side. And basically what you want to do is have a gauge as to where you want to have the longest length. So for me, I think I want it like about here for starters. And again, go long because you can't get it back. Flip this to this side. Cut on the opposite side that you want this to lay. So I'm going to cut here. I'm going to flip this all over. And I'm going to cut to about here. And they say from here you can just cut the length. Because once it lays here, it's going to go like long ways. So I'm going to cut here. Okay. And that is still quite long. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to like angle this one down because I am not going to need that long piece there. And you see how that like lays and falls naturally this way with an angle down. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to just separate this hair that I brought forward here. And this is where you want to make sure that all of your lengths are the same length. So brush this as much as you can. Down so you can see where the length is going to be. So about right there. And then I'm going to kind of flip this way. And I'm going to cut this way. Now, see, this is, oh, it does cut. Oops. And then there is where it all kind of comes forward. Now, again, this section here, I know I'm not going to need just because it's so long. And they look pretty even to me. Nice. This looks really cute already. Oh my God. Now, these are a little long still. What I might do is even take this and cut this a little shorter. And you can play with that however you like. Wherever you want that shortest piece to be, that's where you should gauge on how you want to cut that. But again, always go long because you can't get it back. So let's take all this down and see what this looks like. Oh, cute for cute. Oh my God, the bangs look so cute. Now I might have to play with those a little bit. I actually might bring some more down from here to hide maybe some of that parting a little bit more. And I also might put in some layers here at the top once I get this cut down. But now you see that this, instead of it all being here, you have some shorter pieces. And then these, so wherever you want that, you can direct them, you know, and then with these bangs here, doing curtain bangs, you can even go shorter and start directing them out that way to blend in these bangs here on the side. So then all of these bangs would lay here, and then these side swept pieces would be shorter, but sweeping out that way, here, like here, you could see there. So after I cut some of this length, I will play with that and see how that works. But I'm loving this already with these bangs here in the front. It looks so flippin' cute. They're perfect. Look at that. I mean, they're exactly what I want. They're a little bit jagged. They're wispy. Face framing. Oh my God, this is so cute. And I will attach some pictures at the end of what all of this looks like once it's all completed. Ah, I love it! So I hope this information was helpful for you. My discount code for 10% off is FUNDUES10, which I will link in the description box, and I'll put it here. And you guys, this is gorgeous. She performs very well with heat, at least a hot air wand. But yeah, she is adorable. The fibers are very easy to manipulate. That is what I love about this as well. Sometimes these wigs, that are synthetic and human hair blend, the fibers still perform like synthetic. So like I said, she manipulates very well. Even with cutting, it looks really natural. So check out these new wig fibers from Glamvigor Wigs. These synthetic and human hair blend wigs are just beautiful. Stick around to see the end of the video here to see what she looks like out of the box, as well as what she looks like outside in some natural lighting. And I will also attach pictures of the final cut down of this wig piece. So take care and have a great day. Bye now.